If you're saying, Dykel became the most beautiful girl of the night with her incredible transformation, meet me in the comments, because episode 4 is about to change everything. This episode completely shifts the emotional center of the story. Instead of focusing on outside events, it dives deep into the characters' inner conflicts, especially Urkin's. Urkin giving in to his father's pressure and agreeing to marry Bursun is not just a romantic decision. It's a defining character moment. We see a man torn between his own heart and his family's expectations. And honestly, he chooses the easy way out. By bowing to authority, Urkin reveals how indecisive and easily influenced he really is. This isn't strength, it's emotional weakness. He becomes a tragic figure, trapped between tradition and personal desire. But the person who feels the harshest impact of this decision is Dykel. When Dykel hears that Urkin so easily agreed to marry someone else, it's not just heartbreak. It's a moment of deep emotional collapse. She's not only losing the man she loves, she's confronting feelings of worthlessness and abandonment. That scene where she breaks down in tears and cries out for help, that's powerful. It shows her vulnerability, her loneliness, and it creates a strong emotional connection with the audience. Her pain feels real, human. But here's where episode 4 becomes truly important. Dykel's breakdown is not the end, it's the beginning of her transformation. Her appearance at the entertainment night, where she stands out as the most beautiful girl in the room, isn't just about physical change. It's symbolic. It represents her reclaiming her confidence. It's that classic romantic drama moment, the recognition scene. The moment when the person who is overlooked suddenly shines. And Urkin's reaction? Pure shock. That shock tells us something important. He never truly saw her value before. He only begins to realize what he's losing when it's almost gone. So now the question becomes, were Urkin's feelings always there but suppressed? Or is he simply a man controlled by habit and fear? The marriage to Bursun adds another layer of tension. How Bursun views this marriage will shape the entire dynamic moving forward. If she sees it as a victory, then rivalry with Dykel is inevitable. But if she has doubts of her own, then this marriage is already built on fragile ground. Overall, episode 4 feels like a turning point, a threshold episode. Urkin's choices force us to question his identity and moral strength. Meanwhile, Dykel begins shifting from a passive lover into a stronger, more self-aware woman. And that means one thing for the next episodes: emotional tension is only going to rise. Especially when Urkin eventually has to face the consequences of the choice he made. Episode 4 isn't just another chapter. It's the moment where the story stops being about love triangles and starts being about personal awakening. When Dykel stands out as the most beautiful girl of the night, it's not just a shallow makeover moment.
It goes way deeper than that.
This scene symbolizes her inner rebirth. She's no longer the woman who waits quietly on the sidelines. She's becoming someone who isn't afraid to be seen. If the camera work and atmosphere are handled the right way, this scene could become one of the most symbolic turning points of the entire series. It's not just about her walking into a room looking stunning. It's about energy, presence, confidence. This is the moment Dykel stops shrinking herself for others. And then we have Urkin's reaction. The shock on his face carries multiple layers of meaning. On one level, it suggests that the feelings he tried to suppress for Dykel are still very much alive. But on another level, it exposes something even more important. He never truly knew her. He thought he understood her. He thought he had her figured out. But standing there, looking at this new version of Dykel, he realizes he only ever saw part of her. That realization could be the beginning of Urkin's internal reckoning. Because now Dykel isn't just a woman he believes he left behind. She becomes a mirror, reflecting his choices back at him,
challenging them,
forcing him to question what he gave up and why. On Bursun's side, the dramatic tension hasn't fully exploded yet, but the foundation is clearly being built. The big question is, what is this marriage really based on? Love? Obligation? Status? That answer is going to drive future conflicts between all three characters. If Bursun starts to sense that Urkin's heart is somewhere else, this marriage could quickly turn into an emotional battlefield. And that's where the story moves beyond a simple love triangle. It opens the door to real psychological tension. From a narrative perspective, Episode 4 functions as a threshold episode. It's less about external events and more about emotional transformation. The characters are no longer just making romantic choices. They're questioning who they are, what they truly want, and what they're willing to surrender. Urkin's decision already hints at future regret. You can feel it coming. Meanwhile, Dicle's transformation slowly shifts the power balance in the story. The real dramatic strength of this episode lies in her rise after emotional collapse. This isn't just a glow-up. It's a rebirth. And from this point on, nothing in their dynamic will feel the same again.